Hey, it's Ian here from the Sports Card Side Hustle. I want to show you a couple of things about kabooms and the populations of them and how they're grading. So I'm noticing that there's a drastic difference in the ratios, how they grade from different years to different sets, right? And you might think, oh, that's normal. Maybe newer grades higher, older grades lower, but it's not really seeming to follow that flow much at all. I would say that one of the first things that brought me to this conclusion is I was grading some kabooms right after they had come out in 2021 and 2020, and I would get an 8 or 9. I would go notice the ratios, which I'll show you in a second, and then I got 2022s right after they came out. And if you go look at here's just a list of if I copy and paste, I'm gonna copy and paste Mike Trout 2022 kaboom, and you'll see the results. It says there's only 3, but when you search this in the PSA app, it's only giving you the sales record. So there's only 3 that's been sold. So I click on it, and you see all sold have been. Most recent price was a PSA 10 of the 2022 Mike Trout Kaboom from Absolute. It was sold for $750, and the average was $950. But if I go look, there's only been PSA 10s to sell for this. That ratio might seem deceiving if you go look at the details, because you're like, oh, there's other grades, but it is extremely high and a very high ratio of PSA 10s that are happening. So when you look, yes, only 3 have sold. Those are the sale records, but the population of unique graded and slab PSA 10s of the Mike Trout Kaboom is 24. If you go down to 9s, there's only 13. So 2-to-1 ratio from 10s to 9s, almost double basically. There's only been 1 8, 1 7, and nothing below a 7. So if 39 total graded, you go all the way to the bottom, there's only 39 higher than authentic. 39 graded, 24 of 39 are a 10. So over 60% of Mike Trout Kabooms graded from 2022 are a 10. Now let me give you a couple crazy contrast there. I've got an order. Here's my orders. You can see my app and in the orders. And if we go to my most recent order, I had 4 cards in it, and this is what made me think of it, because I've been tracking other kabooms I had graded recently. By the way, one of those Mike Trout PSA 10s is mine, and I did auction one of those. I have one left. But so the bottom 2 in my most recent order are kabooms. The first one is just last year's kabooms. I got it right after it came out, graded it right after it came out, or submitted it not long after it came out. Let's click on the cert. It's a PSA 9. So you're thinking, okay, I just showed you another set right after it came out. 60% got a 10. So let's look at the population, right? Here's a Lamar Jackson card. Here's mine is a 9. If you go in and look at the scan, 59 of those are a 9, and 1 is a 10, right? So that's pretty crazy. 1 out of 60 between 9 and 10s. That's not even 2%. So, and there's probably some 8s or below. So less than 2% of the 2021 Lamar Jackson kabooms have gotten a 10, while 60% of the 2022 Mike Trouts have got a 10. That's pretty incredible. I checked the other one in the order, and it's prior to that, DeAndre Ayton. It's his first kaboom for that year, and it got a PSA 9. So I went and looked how many are higher. So the top 16 graded, 11 9s and 5 10s. So that's about 30% 10s there. Much better than the Lamar Jackson. So what's causing that 1 year of 2021 football to get such low grades? I don't know, but keep that in mind when you're shopping, when you go and find these ratios that are so drastically different. If I'm getting the 2021 Kaboom football, I'm only seeing 2% of those get a 10. But yet if I go to the next baseball Kaboom that came out, 60% get a 10. So you want to have an idea, what are your odds of getting an 8, 9, or 10 when you buy an ultra modern card. So when you're paying for that raw price, putting in for grading, should you gamble on a 10? Do you think you have a good chance? It seems like for 2022 Kaboom baseball, yes. they're about 60% from the sample size we saw. Then you go to the previous year football. No, don't even think about getting a 10. It's going to be an 8 or a 9, right? Less than 2% were a 10. So that's kind of my analysis as I look at some of the population counts. Is there is drastic differences between some of the years for Kaboom, and that might be due to centering or another issue. Centering is really hard to assess for Kaboom because of the fact that the borders aren't traditional and they're different. Some of them have no border at all. So anyway, keep that in mind. Really high ratio of tens for 2022 Kaboom baseball, and that might go your way. So if you're getting a good raw price, keep in mind that you have a good chance, 50% or more, for 22 baseball. But the previous year football, do not count on a 10. So have a good weekend, all. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to talk it over. Thanks.